Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. We got to keep talking about the Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez match. Now, I'm gonna say this. Even I, when Shakur Stevenson was about to fight Zepeda, I knew Shakur Stevenson could fight. I knew he was good. I know he was elite, but I wasn't sure how special. And there are people who have been following Shakur his whole career, since the amateurs. And when you follow a guy like that, I think sometimes people can become a bit biased. And then when the person who they're telling you, this person is the future of the sport of boxing, when it seems like it's coming to fruition, they'll sit back and be like, I told you so. I told you so. And in this case, those people would be justified, and I think they're warranted to come out and tell the whole world, I told you so. Because obviously they've seen something that a lot of us didn't recognize. Now, for me, I talk about this on the channel. I knew he was good. But when he was about to fight Zepeda, I say, Shakur, on paper, he should win. But how's he going to deal with that volume? And I said, Zepeda may get him. I said, but if I had to bet, I would bet on Shakur. But I think Zepeda may get him. Because you got a guy throwing damn 80 to 70 to 100 punches around. How do you deal with that kind of pressure and that successive attack? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, there was someone who coached Shakur during the Olympics and spent time in Colorado with him. And he told me straight. He said, look, I'm telling you right now, Shakur is going to beat Zepeda. He's like, and he's going to make it look easy. He's like, Zepeda, best chance is for Shakur to mentally check out, which he never does. That's his only opportunity. So other than that, he's not going to be able to land. It's going to be damn near impossible to land on him. And I had a lot of respect for that coach, and I said, okay, cool. So with the Zepeda fight, I said, let me sit back and watch and see how this shit plays out. And I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me. So anyway, we saw how that fight went. Shakur in the pocket, Zepeda couldn't land. I said, that's crazy. So when Shakur was getting ready to fight Teofimo, I said, to me it's a 50-50, but I got Shakur winning. I was like, I ain't never picking against that dude again. Just because of how he performed, you know? And I could just hear the coach in my ear like, all right, Hood, I already tried to tell you. Better not pick against Shakur Stevenson. And I said, all right, but at the same time, we know Teofimo Lopez has talent, power, speed, athleticism. I said, well, let's see if he can be explosive. Let's see if he can get there. On Shakur. I'm not betting against Shakur at all. I said, but you know, we'll know pretty quick what the direction that fight's gonna go. And we saw that. I mean, shit, in round 1 you saw it, right? What started in round 1 continued all the way up to round 8 when Shakur took his foot off the gas and gave Teofimo a round. Like, Teofimo didn't earn the round. He didn't win the round. Shakur gave him the round. And you even saw when Terence Crawford fought Earl Spence. I can't remember what round it was, 6 or 7. I can't remember what round it was, but he gave Earl Spence, like he eased up off of Earl Spence. You could tell he eased up off of him. And then he went back to business. But what we saw last night, like Shakur Stevenson, he's starting to create separation. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's the best fighter he's the best boxer in the world right now. He's the best this, he's the best that. No, I'm telling you, he's one of the best, okay? But when I look at guys like Dimitri Bivol and Usyk, and they're still out here, they're still active, but I think Shakur he's right up there. Basically, he supplanted Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford moved out the way, and Shakur filled that void. He filled that spot. And I'm watching the internet, and there's some people, they're just not going to give him credit. I'm a guy can tell you when I'm wrong and when I'm getting things wrong. And I can make the adjustment. And I don't care what nobody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Because we make choices And then there's consequences, but you got to take accountability when you're getting something wrong, no matter what it is. And don't care about the fallout. Just deal with the bullshit. So with Shakur, I got to accept some culpability here when I didn't see what other people saw. And I think with me, I'm going to be honest with you. And I didn't understand, and it agitated me a little bit when people were saying, oh, Shakur Stevenson's better defensively than Floyd Mayweather. Now, to that, what I was saying back then, I was saying in the most respectful way that they should hold their horses and not take it to the stupid. Do I think so right now, after watching him perform against Zepeda and Teofimo, do I think Shakur Stevenson is a better defensive fighter than Floyd Mayweather? No. Should we be comparing them? I mean, that's what we do, right? People still out here talking about Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, people talking about Marciano and all them great fighters. I mean, there's always going to be comparisons, so that's what we should do, make comparisons. But I like what Shakur said when he was like, look, I'm Shakur. Basically saying is, when they made Floyd, they broke the mold. When they made me, they broke the mold. You know, I understand. Now, this is me just interpreting what he said when he was like, look, I'm me. What he's basically saying is, look, Floyd was a beast. Floyd was talented. And I'm honored that you guys are comparing me to Floyd. But I'm my own man, and I'm great too. But no disrespect to anyone else. Shakur takes it as an honor. Because, look, everybody knows Floyd Mayweather. Offense, defense, Floyd got everything. Floyd got busy. That's why the man was named Fighter of the damn Century. So for them to be looking at Shakur and some people saying, damn, Shakur may be better than Floyd. I'll say this. I think it's way too early to say. Floyd put way too much work in against a whole lot of champions who were killers and made killers look ordinary. Shakur had a fight last night where he made someone who a lot of people felt was a killer and was going to destroy him, made him look less than ordinary. You know what I'm saying? The one thing about Shakur, there's nothing bad I can say about him. I'm telling you, Shakur Stevenson is the truth. But if they want to keep people who want to say he's better than Floyd, I think that's a slippery slope. Because now Shakur has great people around him. All right, he's got Ward, he got the guy Jay Prince, he got Crawford, he got his grandfather, he got Keyshawn Davis, and you can even throw Clarissa Shields in there. There's a mentality when you're an undefeated fighter, when you're a champion. You know what I'm saying? Ward was a gold medalist, Shields was a gold medalist, Shakur is a silver medalist, Keyshawn's a silver medalist, Terrence Crawford, he never won a medal in the Olympics. But that's neither here nor there. It's a champion's mentality that they all have. So, like that there's a connection amongst that group. And you could just tell that, man, they just feed into that champion energy. But at the same time, I would say this, if Shakur didn't have that kind of support around him, I think when people keep talking about, oh, he's better than Floyd this way, he's better than Floyd in that way, then maybe Shakur could feel tempted to be like, I'm going to prove that I can do everything that Floyd did. There were some people who were frustrated with Shakur with the Zepeda fight because they felt like he didn't have to fight that way. It's like, forget the social media, forget these boxing fans, and even forget, Turkey al-Sheikh, and respectfully, right? But you fight your fight, and don't give anybody an opportunity to hit you with some shit and hurt you. And now you got a loss on your record to someone is nowhere near your skill set. So I think Shakur Stevenson is in a good company. Now I'll tell you this, that shit with him and Teofimo, that shit was a mismatch. It proved to be a gross mismatch. Makes you wonder, right? Because Shakur's, he been waiting for this shit. What Nipsey Hussle say? All my life, grinding all my life, right? You gotta pay the price. And Teofimo Lopez ass had to pay the price because Shakur been grinding all of his life for this opportunity. And talk about seizing the opportunity, talk about hitting a home run. That mug hit a grand slam. Like, he didn't just knock that shit out the park. That shit went out the park, up in the air, up and away, past the pigeons, went up there in orbit somewhere, and shit probably ended up in another goddamn continent. You know what I mean? That wasn't no grand slam. You know, that was some shit. Have astrologists like, what the hell is this shit flying up here in space? Oh, that's that Shakur Stevenson goddamn win. Like, oh, we didn't learn about him in physics class and shit. But what I'm getting at is that was his moment. And to come out there and do what he did to Teofimo was wild. I'll say this, Teofimo deserves a whole lot of respect. He didn't have to take that fight. Teofimo has been waiting and trying to get a big fight, big name. But he said a couple things. And you can't take away from Shakur's win. He talked about he's going to make the fight at 140, then go to 147. So it sounds like him getting down to 140 is a challenge in itself. Then he mentioned something about money. Now, I don't know all of his story, but what I can tell you is I think there's some truth to that. Making 140 is a bit tough. And then, you know, when they offer you a fight where you're going to make what's rumored $9 million, even though you know it's a fight where, damn, this is a difficult fight. They've spent time in the ring before, sparring. It's kind of hard to walk away from that kind of payday. But Teo did not sell his belts. No, you could see Teo was trying to win. It just didn't have any answers. And his dad, I love seeing fathers and sons together. I would never advocate for the child to leave the father. Father got you to this point. Leave him now. I'll never agree with that. But I do think it's okay to bring somebody on in a consultation capacity to help with training, to give another set of eyes, a different set of lens, a different wisdom. I mean, we can all learn. We don't know everything. That's why you can say whatever you want about Bill Haney and Devin Haney. Bill Haney is like, all right, I know that people out here way smarter than me on this boxing shit, so I'm going to pay them. Hey, this is what I'll pay you. I need your help. This is what we need to work on. Sir, can we make a deal? And he goes out here and he makes deals, and people come on and they help Devin. That's why Devin he always, no matter what you think about Devin, he just always seems to be a step ahead of his opponents. And Devin has great conditioning, great footwork, fast hands, and Devin, he knows how to fight. He knows how to clinch. Devin knows what he's doing in there. He's been doing it since he's been a damn kid. He's been in the best boxing gyms, getting the best sparring. So he knows what he's doing. But for Teofimo Lopez, he didn't have to take that fight. But he did. And over 12 rounds, he ended up losing, man. 119, 109 on all scorecards. There's no argument about that. So my thing is for Shakur Stevenson is what's next? Kambosos is sounding like he wants an opportunity. I don't think that's the fight to make for Shakur Stevenson. He beat Teo, shut him down. I don't think Kambosos would have ever stood a chance against Shakur, and especially right now because Kambosos isn't the same. Kambosos is a warrior, though. He'll fight you, but that ain't the fight to make. But I think we need a classic boxer versus puncher matchup. Somebody who can brawl, who can grind him out, who's got a chin, who's going to really give him a tough fight. And when I'm looking at the 147-pound division, I'm like, man, that's where he's talking about going, possibly fighting Conor Benn. But I'm like, aside from Conor Benn, who can he get up there and fight, and who can he pick apart? Because that's what he did last night. That's what he does in every fight. But I wonder who he can do that to at welterweight. I'm thinking like Conor Benn, right? I'll say this about Conor Benn. When he fought Eubank Jr. in both fights, Conor Benn was up at damn near 160 pounds. On fight night, he weighed over 160, I believe. But he didn't have to cut weight, really. He was able to come in there fully hydrated, feeling strong. He put on functional mass. And the first fight, he lost. The second fight, he was able to capitalize on the disadvantages based on the agreements in the contract as far as the weight stipulations for Eubank Jr. And he capitalized and he did the business. But for anyone thinking that Conor Benn is going to be that same monster he was at 160 when he fought Eubank Jr., he's going to be that at 147. I don't think so, especially if there's a rehydration clause and all that other craziness. Let's see how that plays out. But I'll tell you what, Conor Benn can't fight on the back foot. I saw that when he fought Eubank Jr. When Eubank Jr., even with the second fight when Eubank Jr. lost, when he was able to muster up enough energy to let his hands go, he was having success because Conor Benn can't fight going backwards. Now remember, I'm not saying he can't fight. He can fight. I was very impressed with Conor Benn in both fights. A lot of respect for him. But going backwards, I think he'd be in trouble. I think he would, just that Shakur jab, that shit is like a damn blowgun. He just sitting there, just shooting goddamn darts at them opponents. They don't know when it's coming. That jab, they don't know when that shit is coming. And then when he decides to sneak in that sneaky left hook, then that gets incorporated. Then the damn hooks and everything else he does. It's hard to prepare for something like that. So for Conor Benn and Shakur Stevenson, I think if Conor Benn, if he is the bigger man, if his chin can hold up, maybe he can make it rough. Maybe he can make Shakur uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think Conor can make Shakur any more uncomfortable than Terrence Crawford makes him in sparring. I don't think Conor can make Shakur any more uncomfortable than Andre Ward has made him in sparring. I don't think Conor Benn can make him more uncomfortable than Keyshawn makes him in sparring. I don't think Conor Benn can make him any more uncomfortable than his sparring partners make him. I just don't think so. I think Conor Benn is a bad boy, but I think he needs to just leave Shakur Stevenson alone. To me, that's a lose-lose. And Eddie Hearn, he loves Conor Benn. Conor Benn like a child and shit. Oh, Conor, that's not my mate. He's like a son to me. Yeah, well, you go see if you put your son in there with that goddamn Shakur Stevenson. Because Shakur be there smiling. Shakur be smiling and shit. He show all 32 teeth when he be in that ring, don't he? Shakur just... and be destroying you. That's how you know Shakur Stevenson a little bit deranged, man. That man beating the shit out of you and smiling. All 32 teeth. Then the mouth opens. Then the tongue falls out the mouth. I'm like, oh, this dude is crazy. Enjoying that shit while he in there slicing and dicing and getting suing your ass. He out there making hibachi. Stir-fry champion. Shakur don't be playing with them guys, man. Anyway, I just think anyone who fights Shakur, you got to do like what Teofimo did. Start aggressive for the first round, but you got to start aggressive, get underneath his shots and get in his personal space and then grab him, get on him, maul him, elbow him, headbutt him, shoulder him, rough him up, get him on the ropes, bang him, beat every part of his body, his hips, shoulders, make him complain to the ref. You may even have to lose a point, lose 2 points. Like you got to get in his head because you let Shakur Stevenson sit back and just be cool at a distance that he's controlling, at a pace that he's comfortable with. Oh, it's all she wrote. All she wrote. Because you sit back trying to box him, he gonna make you miss. And if you try to jump in with all them lunges and like a kangaroo and shit and koala bee and all that, that ain't gonna work with Shakur Stevenson. He just gonna be hitting you, bing, 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 and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's just being real. So Conor Benn is an interesting fight. You know, I don't know who else. I mean, he's a big name, but Shakur stays at 140, man. I mean, there's some really good fights down there, but I just don't see nobody beating him, man. Did y'all see the speed that boy was showing last night? That speed, that shit was ridiculous, man. And it's not even just the speed. That timing, man. Off rhythm jab. The off rhythm left hand. He knew, it's like, he knew where Teofimo was going to be and the punches he was going to throw. Before Teo was even throwing, Shakur was already catching shit, dipping, hand up. You know what I mean? Getting underneath it. The shots weren't even thrown yet. And Shakur knew what he was going to do. It's like, yo, I said last night during the live, like he was pre-programmed to go in the ring and execute a type of way, because it's like they said, this is exactly what Teofimo's game plan is going to be, and what he's going to do from the first second of round 1 to the last second of round 12. Now go out there and you have all the answers to the test, and that's what he did. He passed that test with flying colors, flying colors, man. Bust up Teofimo's face. That was crazy. Isn't that a coincidence? He bust up Teofimo's face. Keyshawn bust up Jermaine Ortiz's face. Isn't that crazy? The two guys say they're brothers. They love each other. They're friends, and it's a true brotherhood. They both got in there and performed the same. The only difference is Keyshawn was able to finally get the knockout, the stoppage. But Shakur, I think if Shakur wanted, he would have went. He could have got the stoppage. And that's the thing when it comes to him and Floyd Mayweather, and they start making the comparisons. I now understand why people make those comparisons. I get it. I now understand why. But the difference is, Floyd, you know, at 140 pounds, in those lighter weight classes, Floyd was out here destroying people. Floyd wanted to get you out of there. Even at 147, Floyd wanted to get you up out of there. But he wasn't stupid either. But he wanted. Floyd, I think that's the difference with him and Shakur. Is Floyd still, he was like, I want to knock you out. Where Shakir's like, I just want to win. But if the knockout comes, cool. And there's nothing wrong with either mentality. I just think that's the biggest contrast between the two, man. But I tell you what, somebody need to check Shakur Stevenson, to see how many goddamn gas tanks he brings into that ring. Is it me? That man he don't just have an expanded gas tank. He's got like dual or triple gas tanks, man. Talk about, it's one thing to be in shape. You know, I know a lot of y'all out there were athletes, whether you ran track, wrestled, played basketball, football. I was an athlete. I still run. That's why I'm sick right now, because my dumb ass was out there running in 40-degree weather, thinking I'm goddamn Rocky Balboa, trying to go out there and punch goddamn half a goddamn rack of beef in the goddamn freezer, getting ready for the big championship match when I didn't got my ass sick. But I still run. I'm still in shape. When I was younger, man, just like a lot of you all, you know, I remember, I talk about it, man, just getting down to 160 pounds and I felt like I was floating, man. That's my legs, my body, that's how great I felt. You know what I'm saying? So, and not getting tired. Not getting tired. I used to run hills. I still run hills. I don't like to run flat stretches. I don't like that shit. Go run on a track. I used to do it. I don't like doing it. I go and run outside hills. I run for time. I don't. I got to get in at least an hour on my run every time. Got to be at least an hour to hour and a half. And that's just me. But for other people, they're different. I'm not saying no one's wrong. But what I'm telling you is, if you've trained before, you know that feeling of just not being tired, being in shape, you know, trusting your conditioning. With Shakur Stevenson, that shit's a whole nother level. And somebody last night was like, yo, the snack fighters are different. Yeah, they are. But I think, you know, to have a conversation people want to kind of sit there and spin the narrative like, oh, we need to put a magnifying glass on them. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, nobody testing positive for nothing. These guys been fighting since they've been kids. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be in a kind of condition. I'll be 51 this year. And, people know when the last couple months, maybe a month and a half, I haven't been running. I haven't been recording myself when I run because I like to wear my Shocks headphones. And when I'm going live and talking through those, it's horrible. The audio's horrible. And then when I wear the Beats headphones, those are great, but that shit be hurting my ears. So I just wear my Shocks and I don't worry about recording. But even me at 50, right? I get out here, man, zipping and running, and when I'm done with my run, I'm not tired. I'm not breathing heavy, nothing. Because it's just your body's conditioned. These guys are professional athletes, man. So if I and a lot of my homeboys out here in this neighborhood, right? A lot of us are retired veterans, motherfuckers still out here, still like to run and train and sweat and be in shape, you know what I mean? You've been doing that your whole, I started working out when I was like goddamn 11 years old. I wanted a weight set. My parents bought me one. I used to be in my room lifting weights and outside running and training and shit. But that's something I did. But after you do something for so long, me and all these cats out here, they still get out there and put in work. I got a homeboy, he's 62. That motherfucker be out here running marathons. And when he finish, eat a half a banana, drink some water. He may drink some Pedialyte. Don't be breathing hard at all. Breathe through your nose, blow out your mouth. Walk your hands over your head and just chill. Don't be breathing hard. When you get these professional athletes, why is anybody surprised that a guy like Shakur or any of them, even the ladies, why y'all surprised that they could get in there and do that shit for 12 rounds? Something they've been doing their whole life. And I get it. I get it. The whole thing with snack. I understand. I understand what people are saying. But I don't agree. But just for a conversation and, stirring the pot, I understand. But I don't agree. I got to give them guys credit, man, for having the discipline to do this sport since they were little kids. And I know if me at 50, about to be 51, if I could get out here and run uphill and talk the whole time during the live for an hour and a half, right? Sometimes 45 minutes, it just depends on, because sometimes you're running this shit faster than, way faster than what I wanted. Then I'm like, oh shit, I done finished, my route. But if I can do that, I'm not surprised that these guys can do what they're doing, being young men, young women who are professional athletes. I was never a professional athlete. Them guys have a different, system, different structure when it comes to just conditioning and nutrition and everything. So you gotta get them respect, man. Crawford was talking the other day. They were basically like, yo, why are you retired? And Crawford seemed a little bit, befuddled by the question. It was kind of like, yo, I've been doing this shit since I was 7. 30 years, man. Putting my body through hell. The shit gets old. And I could understand that. And a lot of people can who have done something for a long period of time and they decided it was time to retire. Put your body through things, you know what I'm saying? Or put your mind through things. Put your emotions through things. Sometimes you just don't want to do this shit no more. So I felt him on that. But I just think what Shakur did last night was amazing, man. And for Teofimo Lopez, I'm gonna do a separate video on him, but I just want to say this. I think when fighters lose fights, they shouldn't be allowed to give immediate post-fight interviews. Because they come out and they say stuff. It's raw emotion, and sometimes they're worried about what they're going to say or how they're going to look. And they start saying shit they wouldn't normally say. But I think when a fighter's just got the shit beat out of them or got knocked out or concussed or whatever, I don't think they should be allowed to give interviews. Give them a chance to get out the ring in post-fight interview, post-fight press conference. Then let them get on the mic. They've had time to calm down, think about things, think about what they want to say, and then let them speak. But when you get them right after they have a loss, there's a lot of emotions going on. You're embarrassed sometimes. You're wondering what people think. What people are saying. That shit messes with you mentally. And that's why when you see the things people say, sometimes it comes out crazy. I see everybody running around and saying, Teofimo, he got his ass whipped so bad, he started to do this and that and apologize for this and that. I see what people are saying. But I just think they shouldn't be so quick to put that microphone in their face. I saw when other fighters have lost and got knocked out and concussed. And you can just see they're not all there. But at the end of the day, it's boxing. When you win, you got that microphone in your face and you're feeling good. And when you lose, you come with the territory. I guess you just got to make sure that you don't lose, right? And that seems to be what Shakur Stevenson's goal is, to just not ever lose a fight, because he does not want to experience again what he felt at the Olympics when he didn't win that gold medal. Anyway, man, Shakur Stevenson, the dude's talented, man. The dude is talented. I'll be honest with you. That shit he did last night, that shit was scary. That's all I'm going to say. That shit was scary. Anyway, I'm about to go bowling with my boys, man. I feel a little bit better today. Keep cool. I'm in the breeze.